For newer or emerging or apostolic houses, the challenge is not technical, it's usually adaptive, which means that we have the people, we just don't already have the resources and the structure. So sometimes it takes somebody coming to help you understand that the reason why you are frustrated about what you don't see is because God has ordained you to produce it. Which means that there will be things that are not in place. And the reason why it frustrates you because it's not in place is because God has probably ordained you to produce what you don't see. Frustration is normally inextricably tied to ordination, which means if you're not ordained for it, you're normally not frustrated by it. No, because see, some of y'all got the wrong concept. You think that frustration is a sign to leave, like, oh my God, I'm just so frustrated, like I'm gonna just quit, I'm gonna just quit. And God is like, no, the only reason you're bothered by it is because he's trying to use you to provide a solution to manage the tension instead of bouncing every time something happens. Some of y'all gotta get delivered from that flight risk spirit. You got a flight risk spirit. It's like every time something happens, you ready to bounce. You can't just be faithful, you gotta be loyal. Because the devil is faithful. Oh, y'all don't like this here. I said Satan is faithful. The assassin has the spirit of longevity. The assassin can be faithful. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to go to the next point. And have y'all ever noticed that whenever the spirit of the assassin falls in a particular church, the assassin will run all the key people away and then the assassin will stay. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And then some of y'all are so weak-minded that you will let the assassin grab you. That's the problem with the Luciferian spirit. Lucifer did not get kicked out of heaven by himself. I probably would not have had a problem with the devil had he had a problem with the Lord and God kicked him out. That's their beef. Get it? Sometimes things happen, but you left Lucifer and you took 1/3 of heaven with you. I'm so sick and tired of people who try to pollute and poison other people. If you're gonna go, bye. But then the thing I don't understand is how you leave after we helped you, how you leave after we paid your bill, how you leave after we preached the funeral for your aunt who never walked into this church. There's a spirit. See, leadership is not a kasata makusia. Randele migum ranzele kashia. Leadership is not just about holding a position. It is about managing so that the visionary only has to cast vision. Y'all remember when they came to arrest Jesus and then Peter pulled out his sword? And then y'all remember when Jesus rebuked Peter and said, nah, man, like put your sword up, Peter. Y'all remember that? See, the problem is that the way the scenario plays out, it looks like Peter was wrong. No, we actually need Peters. The only reason Jesus rebuked Peter that time is because Jesus was born to die. So had he not rebuked Peter that time, in Peter's passion, he would have prevented Jesus' purpose. But this is not the season to put your sword up. This is the season to pull out your sword. Y'all ain't say, I said, this is the season to scream at somebody and tell you, but you got to pull your sword out. You got to pull your sword. But when you read the text, the Bible says that Peter cut off a man's ear. But he doesn't just say a man, we know the man's name. The man's name is Malchus. We know the man's name that Peter probably tried to cut his head off, but but it was dark because they were praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. Peter probably missed and just got his ear. But the point is, we knew the man's name. See, you ain't real loyal if you're going to just fight for me, but you ain't willing to tell me who you fighting for me. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Because when you're really loyal, you'll be like, just want you to know, Pastor, I pulled out my sword and his name is Malchus. I cut his ear off. I was trying to get his head. And some of y'all are so street loyal that you can't be church faithful. Because I know in the street, I know that snitches get stitches and end up in ditches, but in the church you got to be loyal enough to say, I'm telling, so if you're gonna mess up, don't mess up around me, because I'm telling, it was Rebecca who told the lie, it was Demetrius who started the rumor. Scream at somebody and tell your neighbor, we got to get rid of that spirit. We got to pull out our sword. We got to pull out. Tell your neighbor, if you don't want nobody to know, don't say it around me. Because where God's getting ready to take it, I'm ready. I'm too invested. Now, I just wonder, can I just take off my church clothes? And I wonder, because I'm from the hood, I wonder, can I just be like 1,000 with y'all? Now, some of y'all, this ain't going to mean nothing because you ain't invested. But if you are really vested and invested, your mentality ought to be, I ain't letting nobody destroy this church because I pay too much tithes. I give too much money. I show up after I leave. And I'm not getting ready to invest my whole life in this church and sit down and let somebody tear it up. No, I'm telling. I'm telling. I'm coming. 2 more points and then I'm done because I know I'm over my time.